Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hi Krishna, everybody. Good morning. So this morning we're going to be covering from A God Who Dances, chapter 19, starting from verses 97. Do you have a verse or no? You do have a verse? Yeah, but okay. Okay, but we're going to do
chapter 18.
Is it chapter 18 or is it chapter 19? Huh?
Last 10 of chapter 18 and then verse.
Okay. Also, we also have chapter 19
in the book.
What page number are we on? 290. Okay, yeah, so talking people we had written from verses number 96 to 107. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. There's another one? Oh, I guess I didn't. What? Oh, no kidding. I didn't realize that. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh. Okay, and what were we supposed to do for chapter 19? The whole chapter. Oh, no kidding. Don't know what to say. Wow.
We can go through it.
Okay. Okay, well, I didn't plan that out, so I can't have different people read it. So. Okay. My apologies, it's getting old. Blame it on that. Oh, okay. Well, just for your information, you're not supposed to start a class. I'm not giving the class anyway, so who's giving the class, so I can say whatever I want to. It's not part of the class. So this verses that, I was going to read, that I am going to read, initially describes the marriage of Rukmavati, which is daughter of King Rukmi, and Krishna's son, Pradyumna. So yeah, Krishna is married to Rukmini. Rukmini's son is Pradyumna, and Rukmini's brother is Rukmi, and Rukmi's daughter is Rukmavati. So it's, it's a marriage between, I guess, some family members, yeah? So, and we kind of see that in the Bhagavatam, like just seeing Krishna and Arjuna. Now, if you know, Krishna's sister is Kunti, and Krishna's aunt, sorry. So Krishna's father is Vasudeva, and Vasudev's sister is Queen Kunti. So Kunti's son is Arjuna, and Vasudev's daughter is Subhadra. So they're cousins, yeah? That is, brother and sister's children are marrying each other. Yeah? Is everybody clear what I'm talking? I'm kind of mumbling here, but basically, brothers and sisters, children are getting married to each other. Now, this may sound very strange, that kind of thing. But just for your information, I had attended a class in Santa Fe. I was just finishing my courses from 30 years ago when I joined, and I kind of left college, so I was just finishing. So I had to take certain courses, and one of the courses I took was on genes. Now, I don't remember anything about that course. I mean, it was just like weird, but I just had to take one of the courses in one section or something, and I thought, oh, maybe I'll take this. I don't know why, but I took it. But there was something that was very interesting that I learned, and that helped me understand the Vedic culture. So how science, genes is all about science, yeah? So what I learned from that class, or at least what I got one thing out of that class, that how the Vedic culture is so scientific, and they don't know about genes and all that, but they know the culture was as such that they followed it according to the Shastra. So in genes, there's like X and Y chromosomes and all that kind of stuff. So I know some of you are familiar with it. You must have studied in school. And I can't tell you the details because I don't remember any of it. But a couple of the points that did strike me, and I was attending it from my intelligence of Krishna consciousness and Vedic culture. So with the X and Y chromosomes, it showed that how the brother and sister's family are actually not family, so to speak. They're considered two different families. Whereas the brother and a brother's family, in other words, two brothers' children cannot get married because you're marrying in the family. And that's according to science. I'm talking about, this is what I got out of it, that actually according to science, that's considered one family, and whereas the brothers and sisters totally different family. But not only that, it was interesting for me to see that, again, they were not talking in these terms. I was able to get that from the expression of what they were saying, that actually with the brother and sister, or when they're two families, when they actually marry, is actually very good for their intelligence. That's very interesting. Another point that they were making, that if you have one reservoir of water, and people are drinking from the same reservoir of water, then if you have marriage in that situation, it's not considered good. It actually brings eventually insanity. And it's interesting. I have the understanding that in Vedic culture, when there used to be reservoirs, water that is well or pond or whatever, so it was considered not right to marry from the same village, because it was considered that people from the same village are like brothers and sisters. And so they would always marry from some other village. Again, they said that it's actually not good. So just a few points that I got from attending that gene class, I thought it was like pretty far out, that how the Vedic culture actually is so scientific, but they just don't know the science behind it. But that's what the Shastras say, and they follow that. So that's just a side point that I made. Since you actually find that a lot in Krishna book, that kind of marriages. So it's nice for you to know that that's according to science, that's actually good. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, also, they could have the same father and different mothers. The gene pool is much larger.
What's that?
They could have the same father and different mothers. The gene pool is much larger.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay, that was just a very side point. It has nothing to do with the class here. So I will, I'll just read these, and then how do you want to do it? Should we read this and then we read the other one, and then you can go with your class? Yeah, okay. Is that what we should do? Okay. Lord Krishna and Rukmini had a grandson, Aniruddha, King Rukmi's daughter's son by Krishna's elder son, Pradyumna. Why did you ask Rukmi allow his hatred rival son to wed his daughter? Listen, I will explain why this was done. The daughter named Rukmavati was sought by many men. Her secret choice, Pradyumna, though defeated all of them. Rukmi gave his approval, though reluctantly, because his love for Rukmini surpassed his hate for his in-laws. The couple wed and celebrated in Rukmi's domain. Obliged by etiquette, both Balaram and Krishna came. Rukmi's puffed up associates gave him this bad advice. Why not embarrass Balaram by beating him at dice? The match began with wagers of 10,000 coins of gold. Rukmi prevailed, and all his wicked friends could not withhold their pleasure seeing Balaram subjected to this grief. Kalinga's king laughed long and hard, exposing all his teeth. Rukmi then bet 100,000 coins to up the fun. Lord Balaram accepted, and this time his numbers won. Rukmi, however, cheated. He picked up the dice and cried, I have won again. Good luck is surely on my side. Lord Balaram was trembling like the sea on the full moon day. He bet 100 million coins and dared Rukmi to play. When Balaram again prevailed, Rukmi up stood and screamed, I won! Let all these witnesses confirm what they have seen. The witnesses, Rukmi's dishonest friends, of course, all lied. Then suddenly an unembodied voice rang through the sky. Rukmi has lied, for Balaram has barely won this match. Though destiny was calling him, Rukmi was too attached. Rukmi ignored the voice. He laughed at Balaram and said, you forest people can't play dice. Go tend your cows instead. The sports of dice and archery and other things we do are meant for kings like us and not for cowards such as you. Insulted and defrauded by Rukmi, Lord Balaram provoked enough to set aside his usual aplomb. Surrounded by the wedding guests in festive moods of love, struck dead the thieving Rukmi with his swift, unerring club. Haribol. Rukmi's companions, warriors all, abruptly lost their nerve. and fled in all directions when they saw that what had occurred. Lord Balaram's ferocious club left them in bloody grief. Kalinga's king, the one who laughed, was struck with and lost his teeth. Haribol. Lord Krishna neither cheered nor raged in Balaram's assault. He knew Rukmini loved Rukmi despite his many faults. The Lord had bonds of love with both he did not want to risk. So he observed without a word, his face expressionless. Lord Balaram set Aniruddha and Rukmavati aboard a fine new chariot. Lord Krishna's family did not lament as they all went to Dwarka, their home, for malice to their Lord was all Rukmi had ever shown. Okay, okay, so Shruti, you want to assign, yeah?
Anyone here? 4 people probably. 2? Or actually got those here. See that.
In the back.
All right, let's start working. We can do each person in one section.
Chapter 19 called Shiva. Bana brags to Shiva. Said Vishnurata, Aniruddha somehow wed a girl and caused a war with Shiva, almost burning up the world. Her father, Banasura, Bali's son, could he not see? Arresting Krishna's grandson would conclude his vanity. Although his father once presented Krishna with the earth, this Bana was a devotee of Shiva from his birth. He used his 1,000 arms to beat a drum and Shiva danced, and Shiva gave his blessings, making Bana quite advanced. The gods themselves were serving Bana. Shiva took the task of giving Bana's city the protection Bana asked. Puffed up with power, Bana, when they meekly laid his head at Shiva's lotus feet, and being falsely humble, said, I bow to you, controller of the worlds. You are the tree, fulfilling every wish of your aspiring devotee. The 1,000 arms you've given me are just a useless weight, because, my lord, I want to fight with some worthy candidate. Aside from you, no one at all can give me a good fight. The elephants who rule the 4 directions all took flight when I stepped up and challenged them, for in my battle lust, I'd smash the mountains on the way to heaps of stone and dust. When Shiva heard these haughty words, he angrily replied, when you confront my equal, he shall devastate your pride. The foolish Banasura was delighted by this news, for he imagined anyone he fought was sure to lose.
Such a nice story of Krishna and Aniruddha. Romantic. Who's doing the next one?
At that time, Bana's daughter, Usha, wrestling with some friends, experienced the kind of dream in which the dreamer spends an aimless few hours in a lover's warm embrace. Her lover was a stranger, though she clearly saw his face. The young man's face then disappeared, and Usha, in distress, cried, where are you, my lover, as she came to consciousness. Her girlfriend sat around her as she rose, disturbed and stunned, exceedingly embarrassed about what she had just done. Her dear friend, Chitralekha, confidentially inquired, you've just been dreaming, lovely friend. Who is it you desire? You've never had a lover. Men have never known your touch. Who is this unseen man you seem to hunger for so much? Said Usha, I embrace a dark blue man of mighty arms with yellow garments, lotus eyes, and every manly charm. He made me taste his honeyed lips, and then he went away, setting me and leaving me to long for him this way. Said Chitralekha, I shall find this man who stole your heart, if he is in this universe, by use of mystic art. I know the face of every person, demigod or man, so I shall quickly draw each one. Select him if you can. The mystic Chitralekha sketched a clear and perfect face of every male on every planet found in outer space. No sketch appealed to Usha till Pradyumna's made her blush. Then Aniruddha startled her. It's him, she gushed. So Chitralekha, blessed with Yogamaya's strength, it seems, flew through a mystic skyway to complete her helpful scheme. When she arrived in Dwarka, security was tight, so Narada assisted her in getting in that night. She sought out Aniruddha, sound asleep upon his bed. Again, her mystic yoga power served her in good stead. She took the sleeping grandson of the Lord across the sea, where he awoke to find himself in Usha's company. When Usha recognized her love, her face lit up with joy. They slipped into the women's private rooms no man or boy had ever even seen at any time. Alone with him at last, she worshipped, served, and pleased her man as days and weeks flew past. Presenting priceless garments, scents, fine beverages, and food, the princess Usha kept up Aniruddha's happy mood. Concealed with the women's rooms, he did not seek release, for Usha's love for him appeared to endlessly increase. In time, the female guards began to notice Usha's waist, expanding in a way no maidens could if she were chaste. Deciding it was better to directly tell her their boss, they said to Bana, somehow Usha's maidenhood is lost. We watched her very carefully and never left our post. How could a man corrupt her, as is clearly diagnosed? Unless her friends, O master, played some trick we can't recall. No man has ever seen your girl within these palace walls. No man has even seen your girl within these palace walls. The frantic Banasura rushed to Usha's private room and saw the Yadu family's pride, her unofficial groom. The handsome Aniruddha sat with Usha playing dice, as if it were a normal scene you wouldn't think of twice. He looked like Cupid's very son, so sweeping were his charms, with dark complexion, lotus eyes, and formidable arms. A fragrant jasmine garland hung on Aniruddha's chest, turned crimson by the kumkum powder gracing Usha's breast. The angry Banasura, who had brought a score of guards, directed them to tackle Aniruddha fast and hard. Pradyumna's son stood resolute and raised his iron club, and soon the frightened guards ran off in pain and drenched with blood. The mighty son of Bali shattered Aniruddha's hopes by seizing him and binding him by use of mystic ropes. When Usha saw her lover's plight, she crumpled and wept, not knowing this was Krishna's plan and what would happen next.
Next.
When Adiruddha vanished, all his relatives had grieved. The monsoon season came and went, no message was received. At last, sagacious Narada informed the family that Bali's son held Aniruddha in captivity. With Balaram and Krishna in the lead, the Yadus rushed, surrounding Bana's city in a mood to maul and crush. The mighty Bana fumed to see the siege upon his home, and came out with an equally large army of his own. Lord Shiva led the countercharge, his mission to protect the city of his devotee in every respect. His carrier named Nandi was a bull of awesome size. His son named Kartikeya was prepared to pulverize. Pradyumna challenged Kartikeya to a vicious fight, and Shiva challenged Krishna with astonishing delight. Lord Shiva was bewildered, as Brahma one day had been, when he made off with Krishna's friends and hid them in his den. Brahma and many other gods, their godly planes in flight, descended from the heavens to observe this shocking fight. They watched Lord Krishna's pointed arrows quickly drive away the many ghosts and demons on Lord Shiva's side that day. As Shiva started firing every weapon he could get, Lord Krishna counteracted every one with great effect. His rain attack left Shiva's fire weapon limp and drawn. He then released a weapon that made Shiva sit and yawn. With Shiva incapacitated, Krishna turned the fight to Banasura's frightening troops, who scattered left and right. Pradyumna poured persistent arrows down on Shiva's son, till Kartikeya joined his fellow soldiers on the run. Lord Balaram destroyed his foes. The fight became a rout. So Banasura, furious, charged Krishna with a shout. Excited by the fight, with his 1,000 arms and in rows, the fearsome Bana pulled and aimed 500 deadly bows. Lord Krishna's arrows split each bow, and Bana's driver fell. The demon heard Lord Krishna's conch shell. bidding him farewell. Then Bana's mother, out of her desire to save her son, appeared before Lord Krishna nude, her shiny hair undone. When Krishna turned his head away, like any gracious man, the frightened Bana saw his chance. He quickly turned and ran.
Rainbow.
Just one remaining enemy persisted in the fight. The Shiva Jwara, Shiva's weapon, burning left and right. When Krishna saw this blazing personified resist defeat. When Krishna saw this blaze personified resist defeat, he launched his Vishnu Jwara to offset its deadly heat. When Vishnu Jwara froze him, Shiva Jwara cried in pain. With no escape in sight, he turned to Krishna and exclaimed, Tonight, the cause of creation, it's morning and night. You're perfectly peaceful, indeed you imbibe the absolute truth that the Vedas describe. As seeds turn to plants, so the soul takes a form to ceaselessly suffer his fate and perform. Material deeds, his illusions impose a cycle of pain only you can oppose. Because of the demons who have no restraint, you come to this world to watch over the saints. Unless one finds refuge in your lotus feet, like me, he will suffer distress and defeat. Lord Krishna said, O Siva Jwara, all you say is true. Have no fear of my weapon, henceforth no one shall fear you. The Shiva Jwara bowed his head and took Lord Krishna's leave. Banasura wanted war and ended the reprieve.
His 1,000 arms crammed full with weapons, Bana charged the Lord and fired countless arrows as he furiously roared. As Bana hurled weapons, Krishna's chakra spinning free began to slice off Bana's arms like branches from a tree. So Shiva, seeing Bana's death was all but guaranteed, approached the Lord to try to save his foolish devotee. O absolute truth, you are as pure as the sky. The moon is your mind and the sun is your eye. The seas are your abdomen, earth is your stride. Brahma is your wisdom and I am your pride. When gods all depend on your power and grace to care for the systems of planets in space. Descending to earth for the descent and just, you benefit suffering souls such as us. Original person, transcendent, complete, no one need create you, no one can compete. Distorted by matter, our senses perceive your presence in various ways we can see. The clouds cloak the sun when observed from the ground, as matter obstructs you to souls who fall down. Your nothingness light up this world of distress. You nonetheless light up this world of distress and give what good qualities souls may possess. My family shall save me, bewildered men think. They swim in illusion and usually sink. The pitiful human who sullies your feet discovers it's only himself that he cheats. If one enjoys matter and sets you aside, he throws away life and accepts suicide. Brahma, other gods, famous sages, and we surrender ourselves to you wholeheartedly. You fashion, maintain, and destroy everything. Befriend us and free us from all suffering. Since Bana has pleased me, O merciful God, save him as you did his ancestor Prahlad. Lord Krishna, gently smiling, said, Lord Shiva, I agree. I certainly will do whatever you asked of me. Prahlad received my promise, his descendants would endure. So I will spare this demon Banasura, rest assured. His arms are gone, so Bana's hefty ego will abate. His arms gone, for it has burdened earth with all its weight. This Bana, though, shall serve you well with 4 remaining arms. He shall never age or die. I promise him no harm. The demon Banasura bowed to Krishna, head to the ground, and ordered that the grandson of Lord Krishna be unbound. A splendid chariot brought Aniruddha and his bride directly up to Krishna for a festive homeward ride. The party entered Dwaraka amid the sounds of drums. The royalty, the priests, and common people all had come. The welcome for Lord Krishna and his grandson was complete with lavish arches, flags, and water sprinkled in the streets. Whoever rises early, well before the break of day, and reads, recalls, or speaks of the incomparable way Lord Krishna overcame Lord Shiva, thereafter shall meet with unremitting victory and never taste defeat.
There you go. Oh, it's past times. So now Sesha Prabhu is going to continue. So you can just start.
So who's ready to get married? It seems like what you just read, that marriage in particular, and this was with Lord Krishna's family, by the way. But it seems like there's just a bunch of trouble in trying to get marriage.
Are you saying by experience?
Yes, today's class may prove that. Because I was given the information that we're just going to focus on Balaram. Several times I asked. So let's speak about Balaram, because Balaram is described in the Srimad Bhagavatam and his name-giving ceremony in a very interesting way. So this is from the beginning of Krishna's parents. Bhargamuni came to Nanda Maharaj at Nanda Maharaj's request and did a name-giving ceremony. And so he gave names for Balaram. He informed Nanda Maharaj that Balaram, the son of Rohini, would be very pleasing to his family members and relatives, and therefore would be called Rama. In the future, he would be extraordinarily strong, and therefore he would be called Balaram. Bhargamuni said further, because your family and the family of the Yadus are intimately connected and attracted, therefore his name will also be Sankarshan. So Lord Balaram, as Sankarshan, brings his families closer together. And we see whenever there's some family business described amongst Krishna's pastimes, Balaram is intimately involved. Who knows the other incident where Balaram had to go and solve a marriage issue? Yes.
Forgetting which one of Krishna's sons, I think it was Samba. Samba, he kidnapped, I think it was Duryodhana's daughter. And they wanted to marry each other. And in response, Duryodhana's clan, they all ganged up on Samba and kidnapped him, held him hostage. When Balaram went to negotiate, because him and Duryodhana have a nice connection, he taught him how to fight. He said, they'll respect me, we'll handle it. And they shoot him away with disrespectful words. Balaram said, oh yeah? Well, we'll see about that. Takes his club out and starts dragging the entire city into the river. And as their city is being taken away in front of their eyes, they pull their, oh no, I'm sorry. Please forgive us. Here, have your nephew back. Oh, great one.
Well, since you raised your hand, you're interested in getting married, and you suggest that you worship Balaram.
Balaram's the guru, right?
Does anybody have any special affection for Lord Balaram? I'll look at that one. Let's hear a little bit about that.
So about a year ago, when I was still pretty new to Krishna House, I was taking on a lot of service for various reasons. And I expressed to the ashram leader at the time, Chamba, that I wasn't sure how I was going to make it. I was just doing a lot of work. And she said, you should pray to Lord Balaram every morning for strength. And so I started doing that. And so ever since the beginning of last year, I've been praying to Lord Balaram every morning, as soon as I get up and make my bed.
Lord Balaram protects me.
Yes, so it's interesting, it's got related to that. And as you know, I'm attempting to do some things with Varnashram, and it's challenging. And now remember, Srila Prabhupada gave, I don't remember what was the instruction, managing. So you just go before Lord Balaram and explain what's the situation, he will do the needful. So I've been doing that, and then also in the course of things, looking at what was necessary, I was thinking how to do these things. And anyway, by different arrangements, a Balaram Shaligram Sheila also came to me. And so it's just something that's been ongoing in this attempt. And also the last thing, whenever I visit Niramareti, you know, their lordships in these different manifestations are all very wonderful, but somehow Lord Balaram, that's, yeah, it's just, it's a thing. And in fact, I was standing there one day marveling at and then Mother Vegapati asked me to take a photo. And I mentioned this to her. She said, yes, and this, you know, and she was also concurring. So it's not just myself.
Thank you. Yes.
Just since we were sharing like some special connection with Balaram, I was thinking of once I was at Jagannath Puri for the Rath Yatra, and it was a yatra with Radhanath Maharaj, and so my parents and the whole family, we had gone for it, and we went for the Rath Yatra itself. They sat in balconies. Everyone sits up over there in the balconies when Jagannath comes out of the temple, and they go on the chariot, and then finally Jagannath, Baladev, and Subhadra, they start moving. First Baladev moves, then Subhadra moves, then Jagannath moves. So me and my friends, me and my father, we decided to go and actually pull the Rath in the crowds. It's millions of people that are there getting squished. And so then we were going there, and then somehow or the other, one of the main instructions we were told in the whole yatra was that when you go for Rath Yatra, be sure to not carry like your wallet, any gold chain, nothing. Just be like completely clean, so that because they're very good pickpocketers out there. And so we went, but my father, he forgot to remove his gold chain that he had on his neck. We were right next to Baladev's Rath. We were able to pull Jagannath Subhadra, and then we went up ahead to Baladev's Rath. And while we were there, I was walking behind my father, and then suddenly I saw a hand grab the chain of my father. And then my father felt that too. And then he quickly caught hold of the man's hand. And then I also caught hold. And then that man just dropped it on the floor. And then it went on the floor. I quickly went down to grab it. And I saw 5 different hands come from nowhere to grab that. And then I grabbed it. There was like a whole tussle going on, like it was like a tug of war on that gold chain. And then out of the blue, we were right next to Baladev's Rath. And out of the blue, this huge guy wearing all white clothes, just like he was there. He was like strong, like, Kiska hai? He's like, whose is this? Like that. And then everybody's just like cowered in the back. And then my father, he said, it's Mira, it's mine, like that. And then he just gave it to my father, and then we just continued walking. And it was quite like bewildering. And it was like he just appeared, like this big guy just appeared from nowhere. It was kind of like, it's pretty cool.
One more? Okay.
It's not fun to go after another story, but I'll try and share. No, I feel like I have a special connection with Lord Balaram that started with a connection with Lord Nityananda, because over the years, me and my devotee friends in South Africa, we would really enjoy Sankirtan services, and there's an opportunity when you do that to really deepen in your relationship with Lord Nityananda and get a lot of his mercy. So yeah, we would just always be thinking of Lord Nityananda, praying to him and begging for his blessings. And naturally then, you know, they're non-different. So then it's the same thing basically. You can also establish a relationship with Lord Balaram. And what I like about Lord Balaram is how he's just constantly intoxicated, like someone who's had too much wine or something, but of course he's intoxicated because of prema and just being completely in ecstasy, because he's always just thinking of Krishna and serving everyone else. So his eyes are rolling around and already he's just very attractive.
Thank you. So let me just go on here. We'll get to you later. So if all of you are lovers of Balaram and he's showed himself to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead and interactions with you, all strength, and why are you tolerating the statement made by Rukmi, Rukmi's friend, that Balaram is not very adept at playing dice? How can you stand to hear that? How can that statement be let to stand? Who can explain what's going on here? And Balaram is being accused of not being expert or even competent at playing dice. Any thoughts? Yes.
Could be way off here, but isn't it maybe like an indirect compliment, meaning that he's always truthful?
Okay, that's one defense of Balaram's honor. Others? What can you say? You have anything?
What can you say about defense?
Yes. Are we going to let the statement stand? That Balaram's not very good at dice? Think philosophically a minute. Yes.
I think that Lord Balaram was just hustling him, you know, like you lose the first couple games and then you up the bet.
It's a real gambler, you're saying, Bob.
Yes.
Okay, I might be like completely wrong with this, but maybe he was just being patient, kind of giving him the benefit of the doubt to be like, oh, maybe he's gonna just be honest at the end or something at some point.
it also could just be that, you know, he knew he was gonna get what he deserved and someone had to take out Rukmi because he's not fine. But yeah, I don't know.
And thank you for that. But if we think about two things, oh, go ahead, no, I'm sorry.
Well, I was thinking, since you mentioned philosophy wise, I was thinking how Lord Balaram is explained as the first expansion and hence the original guru. And guru means one who represents the absolute truth. So how could the representative of absolute truth say anything false, even in such small affairs? That would be my defense for Lord Balaram.
It's got a good lawyer. If we think about a couple of things, one is tattva, and the other is lila. You know the distinction between these two things, tattva and lila. Anybody give a definition? Yes, agreed.
That tattva would be the category, result of the category, and lila is the activity that sometimes correlates with that category, but sometimes does not.
It's more philosophical than I'm looking for.
Okay, let's try again. Tattva is the category, period, and the lila is the activity.
So the category of Lord Balaram is Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Right.
And the lila is sometimes he acts like he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and sometimes he acts like he's not very good at playing tennis. Yeah, I think when we understand any of the Lord's activities, we have to take these two things into consideration. Even Rukmi and his friends, they're very close to Lord Balaram. How does anybody with that kind of attitude get that close to Lord Balaram? I mean, all of you this morning have said you got close because of prayer and reciprocation, not by blaspheming and trying to criticize the Lord. How did he get close? How did he get so close when it takes us so much to try to get close?
In terms of reciprocity,
I told you he was a good lawyer.
in terms of reciprocity, Balaram's club might have been itching to bust some teeth. So Rukmi actually facilitated perfectly to be that in the middle of the blow. But in order for that to happen, this whole activity of Lila had to take place.
Yes.
I was thinking in terms of Lord Balaram coming close to these people who are not glorifying him or praying to him. It's like in the same way when Srila Prabhupada came here to the West, you know, like nobody was like looking for him or anything, but his mercy, like he came close to these people. And that's how he got close to them.
And they ultimately got vindicated by Lord Balaram, even though they were criticizing him. So that's a way that Balaram showed mercy. Yes. Anybody else have any other comment? We also see here that there are various stages of offenses. Like the king of Kalinga, his offense was he showed his teeth. But when Rukmi really enacted his offensive behavior, it was in the form of a statement where he put down what we call the verses we read in Kalakantaku's poem. he spoke derogatory words about Balaram. What was what was he doing while all this was going on? And by the way, I think the club itching to get going. Yes. Club was also Balaram's servant. Whenever a good servant is, and the master being derided, they're itching to do something to defend. So the club got its revenge. With the king of Krishna. What point was that? Yeah, what was Krishna doing during all of this?
He was neutral because he didn't want to take sides between Lord Balaram and then Rukmini's brother. So he neither cheered nor was like, yes, sad. He was just neutral. He didn't want to affect his relationship.
That's the point. He didn't want to affect his relationship. And so the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Virtue Krishna, checked himself in behavior and words upon observing this ghastly scene taking place at the wedding in his family. Why? Because of his concern for his devotees. What is love for them? He was bound by what you find in the translation in that section of Srimad Bhagavatam, what are called the ropes of affection. Krishna was tied by the ropes of affection for his family members. Therefore, he was very, very careful and sensitive about what he said or did and how he was perceived. Isn't there another instance in Srimad Bhagavatam? Krishna acts like that.
Well, forget about Krishna acting that way, but I was just thinking that when Rukmini was kidnapped, and then Rukmi was getting disfigured by Krishna, and then it was Balaram was on the other side, like, you know, he was being the mediator there, you know, like you should be doing that, you know, this is the brother, you know, of your wife, you know. So then at that point, it was Balaram who took that role of being the mediator between Krishna and Rukmi. Anyway, that's what.
Another instance where Balaram served the family, brought them closer together. So, does anyone have anything they'd like to add? Questions? I don't know what time it is with my glasses. I'm serving the
Right now, I don't know what time.
That's all. Then we'll end here. Thank you very much. Shri Balaram Ji ki.